What if Sanctuary wasn't just a place, but a way of living? Welcome to the Sanctuary Network, your weekly home for conversations that awaken the heart, heal the body, and inspire the spirit. I'm your host, Mary Ellen Popyk, the creator of Spirit Fest and the Natural Wellness Expos. For 2 decades, I've been creating spaces, now creating a bold new broadcast for mind, body, and spirit, where seekers, healers, and teachers come together to share wisdom, laughter, and transformation. We've seen what happens when communities gather. People become enlivened. Now, through the Sanctuary Network, that same spirit is reaching you, wherever you are in the world. Each week, we'll sit down with thought leaders, authors, and everyday visionaries. We'll also shine a light on the grassroots voices of the Sanctuary Marketplace, the healers, vendors, and practitioners who make this movement thrive. This isn't just another show, it's your sanctuary, a space to pause, reflect, and reconnect with what matters most. So, take a deep breath, open your heart, and join me. Together, let's step into the sanctuary. Everyone, and welcome to the sanctuary for mind, body, and spirit. I'm a little hoarse after a very busy weekend at Spirit Fest Fort Myers, so please bear with me. And it was our first time in Fort Myers, and it was such a great show. And fresh off of that Spirit Fest Fort Myers is my special guest for tonight, Dr. Tracey Diner. So thank you for being here with us tonight, fresh off of your auto train back to your home from Florida.
Yes. Well, my pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.
You have been doing such incredible work, and we were saying we didn't really get to talk during the show because it was so busy, and that was really terrific. And I know when you're there in the booth and you're explaining to people what you do, it's just such a wealth of information. So before we really dive into everything, let me give you a proper introduction.
Mhm.
Dr. Tracey Diner is a chiropractor for over 25 years. Her life's work has been to keep people at their optimum health with natural cutting edge treatments. She's a certified applied kinesiologist and trained in nutrition and cranial adjusting. Her very successful wellness clinic in Los Angeles and Dana Point, California, included hyperbaric chambers, disc rehabilitation machines, and lasers. She's been a doctor to Olympic athletes, sports teams, the movie industry, children, and the elderly. Her mission is to educate and help others with their electrical health. Because of our digital age of cell phones, computers, Wi-Fi routers, our electrical health is being compromised at the cellular level, and she describes it as the carcinogen of our lifetime. So about 7 years ago, along with her co-partner and artist, Candace Lauren, she launched a beautiful line of interchangeable biomagnetic jewelry that counteracts the harmful effects of these electromagnetic frequencies. It's called Magnitude Jewelry, and we're going to be talking about that too. So I think that let's just start at the beginning. What drew you to natural health originally?
My goodness. Well, actually, if we go way back, here we go. As a child, my parents didn't take me to a typical allopathic medical doctor. My cousins were chiropractors. If I had a problem, I went to the chiropractor. I got adjusted. I very rarely took medications. I actually take none now. Just had my checkup. They go, not how much medication, but what medications do you take? I said, I don't take any medication. So I grew up that way, not knowing that other people didn't grow up like that. So I was always into natural healing and natural health, if possible. My parents were like that. That my dad was he had a lot of science background. He created an animal food product, so he was just shoving major amounts of vitamins down my throat ever since I was a kid to keep well. So that's kind of how I started. And I was planning to be a lawyer actually. And after I went to UCLA as an undergrad, and I took a few years off. And when I went to recruit, I became a headhunter for a couple years, and I had recruited attorneys. And I decided I never wanted to become one of them. No, no offense, but it's a certain personality that it pulls out in you, and we all
Hmm.
have it. But I didn't want that side of me to be pulled out, so I looked into my chiropractor that I was going to see. Why did you look into going to be a chiropractor? I had never thought about it. So then I interviewed a ton of chiropractors. They loved what they did. They had such reward for helping others. And I thought, gosh, you know what? That's what I want to do. I want to have a happy life. I want to make people well. And so I went into chiropractic, and I did not realize that not everybody actually understood what we did, understood that we went to medical school. We actually have more medical training than an MD does. Most
Hmm.
people don't know that.
Hmm.
Um, and that we weren't accepted by everybody out there until I went into practice. So that was kind of weird for me to like get this big thing in the slap in the face going, what do you mean I'm not I'm a quack? What the
Hmm.
heck? And there's this whole thing with pharmaceutical industries versus chiropractic, and I'm not going to get into all that, but so that's how I started. And then I just got deeper and deeper into how I can help people.
Hmm.
And so there's chiropractors, and then there's chiropractors who do other things. I adjust the spine because the nervous system controls everything in the body, and you must have that nervous system controlling the body. Otherwise, we don't function, just like the computer for our body. But then you have physical health, you have chemical health, and you have an emotional health. So I was probably at a seminar 3 weeks of the month for, I don't know, over 15 years, finding every possible thing I could do to help my patients. That
Hmm.
meant being certified as an applied kinesiologist was 2 years after medical school, of chiropractic school, learning about hyperbaric chambers and all the other things that I could do at a natural level. So that's kind of how I progressed, and then I did cranial adjusting. I had a lot of good girlfriends who suffered from migraines and headaches, and they were on medications half their life. Have 2 weeks before their period, 2 weeks after their period on drugs. That's pretty much your whole life when you're younger.
Hmm.
And I thought, well, there's got to be something better to do than for you to take medications for your migraines all the time. So I found a way of doing cranial adjusting. So I got certified and trained for several more years on how you actually adjust the skull to actually relate to helping with migraines and hormone release and that sort of. So I started with all of that, and then my clinic was in LA, so I wound up getting a lot of movie industry people, and then just I my career took off from there.
My mother also took me to the chiropractor starting when I was very young. He used it's called the activator method, where they
Uh-huh.
didn't really,
Yep, I'm
um,
trained in that as well. It's
which
a,
is interesting.
yeah,
Um,
it's not my favorite, but it's a tool that if someone will not allow you to adjust them, it's a nice, easy tool it's a little machine that goes beep, and you can
mhm,
just move a joint gently that way. Or for
mhm.
babies or dogs, or I'm certified in adjusting dogs as well.
Oh.
I like them more than people, but shh, don't tell anybody.
Well, I was going to ask, most of the chiropractors that I've come across are men. Is there a lot of women in chiropractic care?
Yeah, there are. There are now. I probably wasn't way back when, but there are
Hmm.
now. My
Good.
my graduating class is probably 50-50.
Oh,
And
good.
it's probably more now. But the old time chiropractors were these men with these huge hands, and they're like bam adjusting people. That has long gone. And some of them are, they were amazing chiropractors, and nowadays I think they're more worried about being sued than treating their patients.
Aw.
But so there's a lot of technology that use, and I don't think that honestly that the chiropractic colleges teach as many techniques as they used to. You have to go
Mm.
outside your schooling to learn
Mhm.
all the different techniques, because the more you have in your bag of tricks, the more people you can help, because not everybody responds the same.
Right. I was at the chiropractor today, and the woman that was next to me was going to deliver a baby in 2 weeks. And she was
Yep.
talking about how her hips hurt. And
Yep.
um,
Sacroiliac joints. We were just talking about that before we started, right?
uh-huh.
And they have to spread for the pelvis to open for the baby to be delivered, and
Right.
it becomes very unstable. So it's really, really important that a pregnant woman be adjusted regularly. We have these little blocks. It's a technique called SOT,
Hmm.
SOT, and they're blocks that you can lie on, and it just moves the pelvis and it adjusts those sacroiliac joints gently. Because
Hmm.
as your body produces oxytocin, you have to open up and spread that pelvis to get the
Hmm.
baby out. But then after the delivery as well, it's very important to put the get a few adjustments to the for the mother as well, because sometimes the pubic symphysis doesn't come back perfectly in alignment, and
Hmm.
then they can have a lot of problems in years to come.
Right. Right. There's so much that is affected by your nervous system, like you said, that you can help with chiropractic care, digestion, everything, headaches.
Every single thing is controlled by your nerves, right? And
Respiratory, sure.
every single thing comes from the brain down through the spinal cord to the body. And it only takes the weight of a quarter to completely stop a nerve. So you're not talking about a lot of
Mhm,
movement. You don't
mhm,
really see subluxation, that's a vertebra out of position. You don't see a lot of subluxation like on x-rays or things. So if that really comes down to palpation, feeling where that joint isn't moving properly, and that
mhm,
is a subluxation, or sometimes they're tender, not always. But you don't usually see that because it's rather subtle
mhm,
for a subluxation to pinch on a nerve, to
mhm,
completely stop wherever that nerve is going. If you pinch that nerve and it's going to your stomach, for example, your stomach's not going to produce possibly the acids it needs to break down food,
uh-huh,
right? And you can talk about it with the lungs, okay? They need the information from the brain to open. If you touch the amazing thing I used to tell people, if you were to touch something that's hot, you're touching on like a hot, and you're all of a sudden immediately pull your fingers back, right? Because your
mhm,
brain is telling you because you don't want to get burned. The amount of time that it takes is amazing that all the things that have to happen for your hand to pull back. You have to feel the heat
mhm,
through the fingers that has to go up to the brain. The brain has to then send a signal back down, retract, contract those fingers back so you
mhm,
don't burn. And all of that is happening because of this computer in the brain. And
mhm,
if you have vertebrae slightly out of position, they're
mhm,
going to decrease the information from the brain to the body. We start to break down.
mhm, mhm. It amazes me too when you can have such a headache and then find out it's because your hips are out of alignment or vice versa. It's just
Yeah.
crazy to me
Hip bone
how
connected to the blood,
yeah.
like that. It
But
is, right?
but I am a huge fan and I really am just a huge proponent of chiropractic care. I just can't recommend it. And I feel like it saved my life, truthfully.
That's
Um,
good to hear.
and we've
Yes.
had interesting conversations, my chiropractor and I, about posture because, we're all looking to have perfect posture, but everybody's built different,
Mhm.
and some people are just going to kind of stand or hang differently than others. And, sometimes we overcompensate or we do things and it's learning, what is going to be optimal for you. There's just so many things. And
I
that's
can't
just tip
help
of the
but look
iceberg.
at posture as I'm looking at people. Certain people, like that's what I focused on. And there's so many. I especially see it pains me to see some of the younger people because I've treated a lot of, every from day one in the hospital, babies to 90 something year olds.
Hmm.
You don't treat them the same, obviously.
Right.
But if you have, I know you've seen them with what's called a kyphosis, where the forward leaning, bending of the upper back area, because that person has probably spent years bending over and with bad posture. I see that all the time with their younger set now, where all of they're doing, look at any 20-year-old, what are they doing? They're looking down and they got
Hmm.
their fingers they got their thumbs on
Hmm.
the phone, which we're going to get into that's a whole nother reason they shouldn't be having that phone all the time.
Hmm.
But they're leaning forward. And what we are doing on a computer, leaning forward. Our head is like the weight of a bowling ball. It weighs about 10 pounds. So when you have it forward of your shoulders, you're going to ask the muscles in the back of your neck to hold it up. And then
Hmm.
that stresses it, which can easily cause headaches. But if you
Hmm.
leave it in that position, then your body starts to develop a reverse curvature, which then
Hmm.
that also puts pressure on the nerves over time, and eventually there's nothing we can do about it if your body starts to form that way. So I really get after the younger set because our bones form till we're 25 to stand upright, hold their shoulders up against the wall, right? Be like a plank up against the wall, then move off the wall, take a breath, settle in. But that's your posture that you
Hmm.
should be in. And
Hmm.
especially this young set really needs to work on that because we are having so much more technology around us and that we're using all the time that it is changing our posture as a society. It's horrible
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
of I know what it happens as we get older. You can actually, as you develop arthritis in your neck, and then you have decreased information from the nerves to your hands, and then you start to get arthritis, and you can have carpal tunnel. I mean, there's so many things that can take place with that forward head carriage.
Right. And we can eat natural and organic foods and take all these supplements and everything too. But then if we're not taking care of that, the
Then change
physical
your
form.
posture.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
so when we're talking, we have physical health, chemical health, and emotional health.
Hmm.
You have those three areas. And so how I used to do a lot of lectures with my patients on an overall because I call myself a wellness doctor. I am a chiropractor, but I'm more of a wellness doctor because I'm looking at the nutritional side. I'm looking at the emotional side. I used to do emotional release work, just got to
Hmm.
be too much, so I stopped handling that side of it. But it
Hmm.
is important. What we think about is what we bring about, right? And those
Hmm.
they're all tied together. If you have negative thoughts all the time, or you're under stress, or you're under emotional stress, it can come out as a physical ailment.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Right. So they are all tied together. And if you have, I used to talk to people about this, you have pillars of health, you have physical health. So that's what we're talking about with nervous system. Okay. Posture, what our physical body is doing, that's physical health. Then you have chemical health, what you eat, what you drink, what you breathe, what you smell. All of those things are your chemical health. And
Hmm.
then you have emotional health, what you think about, your stress levels,
Hmm.
all of those things. And if you keep those areas of all three of that patient healthy, you have a healthy human being. If one
Hmm.
of those pillars goes down, usually our body adapts and we can still be healthy. If you have two of those pillars down, say you don't physically take care of yourself and you eat like crap, but emotionally you're real happy, right? You're not going
Right.
to stay well. You're going to
Right.
get sick. That's
Right.
what's happening. And if three go down, you have an overt sick person for sure.
Yes.
But we are going to talk about there's another aspect that as a chiropractor, as a wellness doctor, when I was doing research as to what was coming up with electrical magnetic fields and 5G, it is our electrical health that
Hmm.
is in jeopardy that no one was addressing. So that
Hmm.
might be a good segue into what I am on a mission to do now is
Hmm.
to help people with their electrical health.
So before we go on, I do want to remind the people that are listening live with us, they can call in or they can message if you've got a comment or a question too for Dr. Diner. The phone number is 800-930-2819. And if you're listening on the Transformation Network, there's a button on there to message us. And then same with Facebook, all of those are monitored. So if you have any questions or comments or anything, be sure to let us know and we can talk about those. But when do you think 5G really started to become a thing that affected us? 'Cause I remember when I was a kid, my mom said not to sit too close to the TV because I was going to get radiation or I don't remember what she said. But was that really a thing?
I think the TV does produce a little bit, but not very much. I think it was more about our eyes
Okay.
so to answer your question, I started doing research on 4G a long time ago before 5G was got here. I started Magnitude Jewelry in 2018 before 5G got here. So 5G has not been here that long. But here's the thing. I don't know if you remember, those of us that are old enough to remember when 3G was here with our phones, you could text, maybe do a little internet surfing, but not really. And then we were all excited because when 4G got here, 4G replaced 3G. So those frequencies were replaced. So 3G's frequency was replaced from 4G's frequency. And 4G's frequency allowed us to search the internet, which is a pretty cool thing. We could access web, it was much faster. And so that was really cool. Then, when I was doing research, and this is why I created Magnitude Jewelry, when I was doing research on 5G, which had not gotten here yet, there were countries not allowing it because it's 20 times stronger than 4G. And there is tons of research out there, and I have painstakingly done the work. People are welcome to go to my website. You can give that website later. At the top of the website is Wellness and Research tab, and there are, I don't know, maybe 40 or 50 research articles from university double-blind studies from around the world on electrical magnetic fields and what they do to our body, and on the magnets and what they do to our body. And so we'll talk about that later. But so when I started to do research and found that electromagnetic fields first affect us because we're electric beings. So if I can go backwards we'll just stop for a moment, just is why it's so important and why I am making this my mission. And I have been on a path to help wellness and help my patients for over 25 years. And I have stopped doing that to do this. And there's a reason why, because it's that important to me, because people need to know what's going on and they
Hmm.
needed to have a real solution to
Hmm.
counteract the 5G. So 5G is 20 times stronger than 4G.
Wow.
And why is this important? We are electric beings. We have an electrical component at every part of our body. And some people, I asked them when I used to do lectures, I lecture around the country, I'd lecture on electromagnetic fields, and I'd sit in a room and I'd ask people, how many people know what electrical magnetic fields are? And then maybe 20% of the people raise their hands. Now when I'm in a room, and I've actually lectured at Spirit Fest before, if you are in the room and I say, well, how many of you know what electrical magnetic fields are and what they do? I would say maybe 80% of the people raise their hands now. So more people are aware of it. And so I'm making it my mission to make everybody aware of it. And not only aware of it, you don't want to scare someone without giving them a solution.
Right.
So, so on the 5G, which is why you have this topic, 5G, the good, the bad, the ugly,
Mhm.
because it's true. There is good parts of 5G. When 5G came out, it made downloading way faster. We could
Mhm.
download a 2 hour movie in 10 minutes instead of maybe it took 45 minutes to download something or upload whatever you want. It's much quicker, it's much faster,
Mhm.
but at what cost? And so
Mhm.
here's the cost. And I feel that the cost is much too expensive, but they didn't ask me. Um, and they're not asking you, I'll tell you
Mhm.
why. But so we are electric. Our brain is electric. Our heart is electric. So our large organs are electric. So how I give you an example of that? What happens when our heart stops? What do?
They do that. Did you,
Defib-
they, yeah,
Defibrillate,
that's it.
right? They
Uh-huh.
charge our heart back to life. They take an electrical current and they charge the heart back up.
Hmm.
They put an electrical current in the heart for the heart to refunction.
Hmm.
The heart is electric.
Hmm.
How do we determine if our if we are alive, if our brain is alive? What do?
Oh, it's brain waves, right?
Correct.
Okay.
EEGs, electroencephalograms.
Okay.
So they determine not if your heart is beating, but if your brain is alive, you are alive. You can
Hmm.
have a heart beating, but if your brain is dead, then you are dead. So
Hmm.
your heart is an they use electroencephalogram. Electroencephalogram. Our brain is electric, right?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
it is actually sending signals to our body electrically. We also, latest research shows we communicate magnetically, and that'll come into play a little bit later. But so our larger organs, our muscles, how do we measure muscle conduction? Electricity.
Hmm.
So my point is we are electric, but let's not stop there because that's not the most important part of what I've found on this research. Our cell membranes, we have calcium channels, we have cell membranes, and they're polar. So they are susceptible to electrical magnetic fields, which are now being produced by everything around us. So what produces electrical magnetic fields? Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, our routers in our home. We have baby monitors that produce it. The TV,
Hmm.
not so much. The electrical, what's called dirty electricity, it's not nearly as important as 5G towers and your cell phones and
Hmm.
your routers and your Bluetooth. So people go, well, what if I don't talk on my phone much? Well, with my products of Magnitude Jewelry, I created dog tags. Why is that? They don't talk on the phone. So, because if you're living on the planet and we cannot jump off the planet at this point, we are
Hmm.
being bombarded. And those of you living in Florida, which you are, and I've spent time in Vero Beach and by the coast, you'll see these rockets going up probably every other day. And what they are doing is they're taking satellites up to our outside our
Hmm.
Earth, and now these satellites are globally going around the Earth nonstop, sending electrical signals into Earth. So we have these electromagnetic fields being sent into Earth. So I actually show on one of my lectures is this beautiful blue marble in 1975 with nothing electric right about it. And
Hmm.
now if you look at our beautiful blue marble, we have all these electric. I mean, all you need to do is go outside in somewhere dark. You'll see the satellites nonstop now
Hmm.
surrounding and circling our Earth. And they are all sending signals right at us.
Hmm.
So we are being bombarded, and that's just one of them. How about 5G towers? They're everywhere. So they want to have driverless cars, which they have, but they're having issues with it. And I don't agree with this. That's my opinion, because to have driverless cars, you cannot lose the technology. You can't lose the signals to the car. Otherwise, the car stops, can go off and crash or whatever. So they have to have these really strong signals. 5G is stronger than 4G, and it is a shorter frequency than 4G. So that shorter frequency means it needs to be closer to you or where it's going. So if you live in the city,
Hmm.
you'll see these 5G towers on the sides of buildings. Where in 4G, you didn't need that. 5G, you do. You'll see them
Hmm.
on the tops of buildings. You see them on towers, on water towers. You see them all around now. They're vertical, thinner box, not a disc-like
Hmm.
form. So those are the 5G. And so now when 5G came, and
Hmm.
this was maybe 19, maybe 2019, maybe 2018, the it didn't replace 4G. It added to it. Like I said, 4G replaced 3G's frequencies.
Hmm.
5G isn't replacing 4G. They're both out there now. So now we still have all those frequencies that 4G has. And now we have 5G as well, which is 20 times stronger. And
Wow.
now we're susceptible, right? So we go back to our cell membranes. But the most important thing of everything I have read, which is why I am telling you that it is a carcinogen of our lifetime, which what got me to get to work to create a solution
Hmm.
was what it affects the most. The
Hmm.
latest research is that EMFs affect the mitochondria more than anything else in our body. So I'm
Hmm.
going to test you, Mary Ellen, on the
Okay.
mitochondria. Do you remember what the mitochondria? Did you skip your science class in high school? Do you remember what the mitochondria does?
I probably did skip it, yes. And I cannot tell you specifically right now.
Okay, because
Um,
normally, and most people can't, so not to put you on, I do this because we all learned it in science class. And if people remember, it's the there's a certain way that everybody answers it. I can't even think of it right now. That it is the energy at the cellular level. It's what gives the energy for every single cell in our body to function. It's like
mhm.
gasoline for our tanks. Our
Mhm.
tank being the cell, the mitochondria being the energy for that cell to function.
Okay.
So, and it is most susceptible from the EMFs. So the EMFs are stopping your cells from producing energy. I'm
Mm.
going to pause that for a minute
Hmm.
because right there is a very, very scary thing. EMFs are stopping the mitochondria from producing the energy at the cellular level.
Hmm.
That is a very scary thing. The reason is because as a society, we are going to get sicker and sicker. Because if we have say we have a car, people like their cars. You have a car, the gasoline is being sucked out of the tank by something outside itself.
Hmm.
Nothing wrong with the car, but if you don't have gasoline, you're not going, right? So it's the
Yeah.
same thing with our body.
This is honestly the first time I've heard this in these terms, but it makes perfect sense why people are feeling so weak and run down and
And
sickly.
I tell my people and I tell my reps the same thing. None of this is my opinion. I have just done a tremendous amount of research and put it all together and put together a solution when doing more science research. But every single thing I say, I have to have backed up by science. I
Hmm.
am held to a higher standard because I'm a doctor, and what I say has to be true, and I have to be able to prove it, which I have multiple times. So what
Hmm.
I am telling you, this research is out there, and a lot of the research outside the United States, because there are powers that be in the United States who don't want us to know that, who want us to be all happy, fat and happy with
Hmm.
horrible food and 5G and sitting on our couches and having the life sucked out of our cells.
Literally.
Yes, literally, literally. So, so back to the mitochondria, which is the powerhouse of the cell. There it is. So everybody knows it's called the powerhouse of the cell. So if you have this beautiful body, which we are all given, right? And you have these beautiful cells that do all the functions they're supposed to do. The liver detoxes, the lungs breathe, the brain function, right? You have each cell needs energy. And that
Mhm.
energy is produced by the ATP, which is that mitochondria. When that mitochondria says, I can only function at 75% or 50%, depending on how much you're exposed to EMFs, now
Mhm.
your energy at the cellular level might be 50%. That is a
Mhm.
huge, huge, huge problem. So that could be things like you're feeling fatigued, or you
Mhm.
have headaches, or you have brain fog, or you have inflammation. EMFs cause inflammation on all over our body, and every single disease we know to man has an
Mhm.
inflammatory portion.
Mhm.
And so this is a problem. It is a big problem. So I went to work and I was doing research on EMFs and electrical health. And so and I had these beautiful magnets
Mhm.
that, are we on camera enough? Are we have, yeah.
We
So,
are, but I tell you what, if you would
yeah,
not mind, I'm going to
yeah,
pause right here. We've got just a
sure,
minute.
sure.
So, but while we're on the break, Let's let people go to your website too, and then I want to hear all about it. And I love that you can show that to us. Magnitudejewelry.com, and it's
With an E. Yep.
magnitude, magnet with an E, yes. And as always, our website is spiritfestusa.com if you want to see what shows are upcoming and everything. But stick with us through the break, and then we're going to come back and talk specifically about how magnets affect the EMFs and how that affects our body in turn. So, because we're really getting to the good part now. So, hang out with us, everybody, and we'll see you in a few minutes.
Hi, this is the Celtic seer, Barbara McGillicuddy, and you can find me at barbaramcgillicuddy.com or on YouTube at Metaphysical Awakenings with Barbara and Eric. As a medium and animal communicator, it is my joy to speak with people on this side and people who have crossed over to bring forth beautiful messages of love.
Hi, I'm Susan from My Enchanted Path, where I create divinely guided candles, intention oils, soaps, and more that make spiritual practice simple, no complicated rituals. The names may be playful, but every product is serious about helping you shift your energy. All fragrances are clean and safe, free from major toxins no one wants in their home or on their skin. With a 5-star rating and over 100,000 customers, MyEnchantedPath.com is a trusted source for charming items for an enchanted life.
Florida has a great new option for healthy living. Our Natural Health Expos were a hit last year, so 2026 brings more events around Florida. This special event offers health and wellness opportunities for people and pets. High-quality experts in well-being, healing, anti-aging, and natural living. Plus, you'll find speakers, demonstrations, and much more. All details, lists of locations, and discounted admission can be found at naturalwellnessexpo.com.
Do you want to become a host? Start your own podcast to inspire, persuade, and influence others on what you're passionate about? At the Transformation Network, we can help make your talk radio dreams happen. Let's take your hopes, dreams, and passions and put them on air today. Email us at host@transformationtalkradio.com to learn more about becoming a host of your very own show.
Back, everyone, to the Sanctuary for Mind, Body, and Spirit. We've got another really interesting and helpful educational talk this evening with Dr. Tracey Diner, who is an expert, among other things, in 5G and EMFs and how they affect our body and what we can do to kind of counteract a lot of how we're being bombarded by that in our lifetime. So in the first half hour, we talked about what exactly it does to our mitochondria, which is the powerhouse of the cells, and about how that is draining them, basically. And so you were explaining about your magnitude jewelry. How did you start that? What led you to the magnets, realizing that how powerful the magnets are?
Well, I actually have been using these magnets in my clinic for over 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
So these magnets it's nothing new that these magnets decrease pain and inflammation,
Mm-hmm.
and that they're very good at that. These magnets, they're not a normal magnet. It's not your mother's refrigerator magnet. These are biomagnets, and these biomagnets resonate at the same frequency that our cells do.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a huge difference. And these magnets, I actually have them made. I have them gold plated that we put into the jewelry. But in a different form, I used biomagnets for years to decrease pain and inflammation, but it wasn't in as a nice form, a sleek form that I have now. It was like on a little pocket thing, and you stuck it in your back pocket, and so it wasn't sleek.
Mm-hmm.
And how magnitude came about was I had actually retired out of chiropractic for a while,
Hmm.
sold my clinic and in LA and opened a small clinic in Dana Point. I was 10 and just didn't, I've been working hard and I wanted to not work as hard for a while.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I have my partner now who is an artist had an idea for interchangeable jewelry. And she asked if I would be interested in going into business with her. And I said, God, no, I just quit. Why would I be interested in jewelry? I'm a wellness doctor. And I said, no, thanks, but it's a good idea, but I'm not gonna do it. So and then I was thinking about it. It was like keeping me up at night. And like, I always like to do lots, I like to stay busy. And I thought about it, I go, we can do interchangeable jewelry, but if we use these powerful, beautiful biomagnets and then we put them into something that we can attach to our jewelry, and then people can wear them in their energy field all the time,
Hmm.
now we have something that is pretty, it's interchangeable, so they can match their outfits, and now they wear it all the time. So now they're going to be able to counteract EMFs, which are around you 24/7. So
Hmm.
now I'm on board. Okay, this is a really good idea. So
Hmm.
then I went to looking at magnets, and we created a magnet it's called an N52 neodymium biomagnet. It is the strongest magnet on the planet. It is 4,000 Gauss. I know people say that and they have no idea what that means. But when people know voltage, right? Because you know what electricity is measured in voltage. Well,
Hmm.
magnets are measured in Gauss, Gauss, Gauss strength.
Hmm.
It was a German name. So German inventor. So Gauss. So there is no magnet stronger in this size for a 4,000 Gauss magnet. Then I have frequencies that you can use that are infrared, negative ion, and germanium. And I thought, well, we can stuff as much healthy things as we possibly can into this jewelry. So we put the frequencies, which are on the back side. Those are the little frequencies you'll see if you go to the website, the red, black, and beige. So they increase blood flow and they decrease inflammation as well. And they also increase serotonin, which we lose as we age. So we started with that. And then we kept getting stronger and stronger. I'm like, well, let's put a magnet inside. We'll make it surgical stainless steel. So it's non-allergenic and a hypoallergenic. And then we'll put some magnets inside it. So then we're making it even stronger. So then most of our jewelry now has one magnet inside, takes a second magnet. Now it's 8,000 Gauss. There's nothing that exists even close to it.
Hmm.
So this is how it started. And I'll tell you a funny little story. When we first started, I didn't talk about the health benefits because I didn't think people cared. I
Hmm.
cared, but I didn't think anybody else did. I just thought they thought it was pretty, which it is. It's fashionable
Hmm.
jewelry. So people bought it.
Show us the one that you've got on
Oh,
right
can you
now.
see us on? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So this is actually a labradorite, which I love
Uh-huh.
stones. So
Uh-huh.
here's what happens. This piece comes out.
Uh-huh.
This piece is called Zen.
Hmm.
And so see that's the large magnet. There's a magnet underneath it. There's frequencies on the back right here, if you can
Hmm.
see.
Uh-huh.
So, yep, those frequencies. Here's the magnet.
Hmm.
There we go. So there's the magnet. We have two size magnets. That magnet is the large magnet, goes in here. Boom,
Hmm.
done. That's it.
Hmm.
So you can change this out. Actually, this can come out. And I have this a little silly glass cabochon here. I think it's a
Uh-huh.
little, I don't know
It's
what that is.
cute.
Yeah, a little animal.
Uh-huh.
It's not, it's just here for somebody because they wanted that animal. So, but I mean, that comes out and this goes in. And there's thousands of combinations. We have hundreds and hundreds of, these are called tudes, attitude to match your attitude. So
Uh-huh.
these tudes, like here's an example. This is the small magnet. This is actually, we do a bracelet of the month. Every month we have a different bracelet. We have
Hmm.
bracelets, earrings, and necklaces. They all have these 4,000 Gauss magnets. So this actually, I'll show you here. There's the small hole. You can see here, let's see.
Hmm.
There we go,
Hmm.
small hole. There is actually, and there's the small magnet, if I can get that. There's the small magnet,
Hmm.
and that goes into that, and that's it. And that's not coming out.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then there's another magnet underneath in here. So there's 8,000 in here. There's 8,000 in here. You want earrings? We can do that. Earrings too. So these come out. Here's another.
When you go into your booth, the hardest part, it's not deciding whether or not to buy it, in my opinion, because this is definitely cutting edge
Mhm.
and it's just so easy. It's deciding what to get. That really is the hardest
That's
part.
there's a lot of choices. And so usually what I have to do is, like talk people off the ledge. I don't know what to get. So I like, well, like just get a few and then you can add to your collection. And I'm
Right.
actually looking if I have actually Oh, I don't have a box here. We, on the lid of our box, it's magnetic as well. So when you get our tubes, you put the magnets on the lid so you can look
Mhm.
at your collection for the day. What am I going to wear today? And you switch
Mhm.
it out.
Mhm.
So, and then when we show people that, they go, "You've thought of everything." I'm like, "Well, we've tried." So that's actually how Magnitude started, was actually not talking about the health benefits. It was about a year into us having the jewelry and proving the model that people like the jewelry, that people said, "Can this jewelry be doing anything? Because my joints feel better and I don't have headaches anymore." And I'm like, and I would like smile to myself, yes, as a matter of fact, these are very healthy magnets. They're
Mhm.
therapeutic magnets, actually. And
Mhm.
so then we flipped how we advertised and we marketed our product, because it truly was therapeutic, but people cared, because at that time they didn't really know much about 5G. So they weren't scared of 5G. They weren't worried about counteracting 5G. So I
Mhm.
have actually brought along the education among other people in the world who are doing it too,
Mhm.
about 5G and how bad that is for us. And the thing about 5G, and I was talking, it's still out there, and so is 4G. They can put a 5G tower in your backyard if they want to.
Mhm.
There is so much power behind the telecommunications industry, just like the pharmaceutical industry, that I have
Mhm.
been fighting uphill battles for my entire career.
Mhm.
And now I just, one fight to another. I guess it's in my bones. So to try to try and counteract it. So um, that's kind of how Magnitude started, where we went, why I do jewelry, and then I kept going. But I can talk about that later. But you can ask me more questions.
Well, I have a question. So, you mentioned earlier, in the earlier spot, about your wellness and research tab on your website, the
Yeah.
Magnitude Jewelry. That's Magnitude with an E. There is so much great information on here. This literally could take you so far down the rabbit hole. And you've said you've even highlighted the best parts of all of these, about how they affect tumors, about far infrared, osteoporosis, improving your sleep, hip and knee pain, everything. But something that I read that I wanted to ask you about was, that not only the mitochondria, but calcium channels. Can you explain that, what that means?
Calcium channels are polar. You have positive and negative. You have calcium ions that are positive, and so because magnets are polar, we have a positive and a negative, right? That's what pull and push. Um, they're, and it's an interesting thing in this article that I have that's on the website. It's kind of like it regulates what your body needs. If it needs to get the open up, keep the calcium channel open for a little bit longer to get uh, the sort of the things that are your body has processed to get out of the system out.
Hmm.
You need to bring nutrients into the cells, and you need to get some of the old uh, garbage out of the cells, basically.
Right.
So, and the calcium channel opens and closes for that. And the electromagnetic fields are messing with the timing of the calcium channels, which is a
Hmm.
problem.
Yes.
They're also messing with DNA, and they'll tell you there's ionizing and non-ionizing radioactivity, radio frequencies. X-rays we know are ionizing because they break DNA. Microwaves break DNA, so we know those are ionizing, very, very bad for you. But
Hmm.
they've deemed the electromagnetic fields from cell phones, for example, or 5G as non-ionizing, which means they don't break DNA. However, that is not necessarily true. There is
Hmm.
research out there that's showing that it is breaking DNA. And if that's the case, we are in a whole load of trouble because of that. But I know I kind of got off on a tangent, but I wanted to get on the non-ionizing and ionizing, but calcium channels. So these magnets actually, they regulate the timing. If you needed, it's like example, if you need the timing of the calcium channel to be open a little longer, that magnet does that. If you need the calcium channels to close quicker, it does that. And I had to reread that sentence in this research multiple times, because it's like, wait, does it keep it open longer? Does it keep it close it longer? It actually does what the body needs. It's
Hmm.
kind of like, because we have a magnetic portion of our body, it
Hmm.
absorbs what it likes these biomagnets, because they know it's good for them at the cellular level. I don't know our cells, but it likes it. I do applied kinesiology, so I'll muscle test people. For
Hmm.
years, I've been doing it like for nutrition. You can put a drop of refined sugar on in your tongue, and you will weaken when you're doing a muscle test, because it is a toxin to our body. Not that
Hmm.
I don't eat refined sugar, because I do, but it is a can be a toxin. And so when I do my nutritional lectures, I would have people get up and I would show them and they would feel, and you can't argue about that your body weakens when you have refined sugar. Well, the same exact thing happens when I have someone hold a cell phone up to their ear. And because electromagnetic fields are everywhere all the time, you can't feel them, taste them, touch them, smell them, but they exist everywhere. And I call it the carcinogen of our lifetime, like cigarettes were in like our parents' generation when they were smoking all the time, and they did research and studies, and 20 years later with people smoking, it increased the likelihood of almost every disease known to them. Well, that was a carcinogen of that generation. This is the carcinogen of ours. However, we can't get away from the smoke. We can't see someone smoking and go uphill or upwind and not breathe it. It is around us all the time. And so that's the big difference that's when I went to work. What can we do? And there are things that you can put things on your phone. Well, it's not just your phone that it's creating. When people say, oh, I've got this little thing, I go, well, let's check it. Hold it up to your head and let's put your arm up and see if it weakens you or not. And 99% of the time, it does not work. There's a lot of crap out there for a lot more money than my jewelry that does not work. Okay. It's a fact. And I just stop pulling punches. So when you check the electrical magnetic field to your head, you will weaken because it is a carcinogen. And that's the way that I do that. I take a magnet in and out of the energy field because the body loves these magnets. It's adding energy back at the cellular level, and it is fast. And the longer you wear a magnet, these magnets, the more the body starts to energize. Like I work hard, as you do, and I have long hours, I'm sure as you do, but my energy is pretty like, it's not like caffeine where you go up and down. It's just my body works at a higher level. And the only time I feel the magnets is if I'm not wearing them, if I forget to, because I sleep in mine because it's there 24/7.
I'm just going to ask you about nighttime, but before you answer, I do want to remind people you can ask us questions or comment on Facebook or even on the Transformation Network app, but you can also call in if you have a question. You can talk to Dr. Diner or you could talk to our producer who can pass it along, 800-930-2819. So would sleeping with it next to you work, or do you need to wear it?
That's a good question. What you don't want sleeping next to you, which brings me into the topic of what can we do?
I know what you're going to say.
Yeah. So should we just go there?
Yes.
So here's my rule. You want to reduce electrical magnetic exposure where you can. You can't do everything because we talked about it. You can't jump off the planet. It is everywhere. When you hold your phone up wherever you are, guess what? You get cell reception. So guess what? You're being exposed to electrical magnetic fields. It is everywhere. But what you want to do is you want to reduce where you can. And where you can't, then we talk about magnitude jewelry and these magnets to counteract it. So I'm just going to jump in because this is important information that I usually talk in my 5G, the good and the bad, the ugly. The good part is, it's fast and speed and download and upload. But the bad is that it is going to be stealing your health and stealing your cellular health for all of us around us. And that is not worth the trade, in my opinion, but we are way too down the field. We're not reversing. So it exists now. And I'm hoping that they don't come out with 6G so that, anyway, I'm sure they will at some point because they're going to have some other technology that they're going to make billions of dollars on the back of our health. That is what I'll say politically.
Literally on our backs. Yes.
Yeah. So can I talk about, let's just do some real simple things because you asked me about being next to you on the next to the bed. So I'll answer your question. No, it needs to be in your energy field. These magnets need to be in your energy field.
Okay.
Okay. So what you can do though, you want to have distance is your friend with electrical magnetic fields. The further you are from them, the better. You never want to have your phone by the door, by your bed. Okay.
Which is where 99% of people sleep with it.
They absolutely should not have it. But what if it rings? Well, put it in the bathroom. Put it in the room next to you. You'll hear it. I promise you. I never sleep with the phone near my bed. It's in the bathroom or it's in my room that's next to my bedroom. So, and it's there. And put the volume up. You'll hear it. But you need a good 15 feet away from you. And that is not your nightstand. Okay.
Hmm.
And well, how do I get up in the morning? Well, you know what? Go to Walmart, $12. They have digital, digital.
They had this thing called an alarm clock. It was
Yeah,
amazing.
have you seen them? They're pretty cool. You can put them next to your bed and they ring when you set them. It's amazing stuff. So you could put that next to your bed. Okay, so that's an important thing. Routers. You never want to have a router in the room that you spend a lot of time in. Put a
Right.
router my router's in my basement. Okay, if you don't have a basement, being on the east from the West Coast, we don't have basements on it. Now they live on the East Coast, we have basements. Put a router on in a hallway, in a basement, in your garage, in a guest room. If you don't like your guests, you want to keep them further away from you. That's really important. Never put a phone on your body. Women, please do not put a phone in your breast. Okay, your breasts are very sensitive. Do not put it in your bra. We actually have research that shows cancer being developed right underneath where people put their phones on their breasts. And men, same thing. Boys are sensitive. Do not put those phones in your front pockets. Or I actually in the market, if I see a man with a phone in his pocket, I actually do say something, and they
Yeah.
probably think I'm crazy. But it's like I feel it's my duty to let them know, hey, your heart's right there. Your heart's electric. Now that phone is stealing your energy right there over your
Yeah.
heart. And
Yeah.
usually men's pockets for some reason are on their left side, which is right over their heart. So you want to reduce this as much as you can. I have a dumb home. I'm very proud to have a dumb home. I do not need a smart home. I don't need my refrigerator speaking to my phone. What are they, lonely? You don't need them speaking, right? I don't, that's just reduce the amount of EMFs. I
Hmm.
have a digital meter that was put instead of a smart meter for the electricity on my house. I had them come take it off. It's company by company, but you can do that. It costs $75. They charge me an extra $5 a month. They come and they read my meter. Fine with me. Otherwise, it's pinging a big burst of electrical magnetic fields every 15 minutes or so.
I never thought about the smart meters. That's a great idea.
Yep. We live out in the country now, so I have a big 1,000-gallon propane tank in my yard. And they
Mhm.
came out here and they installed a Bluetooth like meter without my permission
Mhm.
right outside my office door. I'm like, the hell you are.
Yeah.
So go take that off. And they're
Yeah.
like, what? I'm like, you didn't ask my permission. I don't want that here. Well, we were
Yeah.
just going to let you know when your propane's low. I'll go out and check my own meter. Thank you. So
Yeah.
these are little things you reduce where you can, but you
Right.
can't reduce it all. But these are simple. No, it doesn't cost you a penny to do anything of what I just told you. And you're going to reduce your exposure.
We actually have a caller who asked, "What is the name of the technology that's in the jewelry?" And then also, can you recommend a specific stone that repels the EMF that you can be purchased through you?
Okay, good questions. First one, I'm going to answer B first. Nothing is repelling anything. I've not once said repel anything. Okay. These stones are not it either. It has nothing to do with the stone. It is the magnet itself. The magnet is the strength, not
Mm.
even the frequencies on the back. These magnets are what put energy back at the cellular level. So we
Hmm.
never actually finished that conversation. So let me get back to that. So that brings us back to
Hmm.
that
Hmm.
conversation. When you put a magnet in an energy field, that's us, right? So
Hmm.
you put this magnet in the energy field. There is laws of physics. There's Faraday's law. There's Ampere's law. There's one other law I can't think of it off the top of my head. These laws of physics, what they say is when you put magnetic and electrical and magnetic are tied together, you can't really separate them. So when we take a powerful magnet and we put it in an energy field, that is electrical magnetic fields. You are adding energy back at the cellular level. So what's happening is EMFs are decreasing the energy at the cellular level because of the mitochondrial depletion. And the magnet is putting that energy back,
Hmm.
counteracting it. Like it's the EMFs are stealing energy out of your tank. The magnets are putting energy back into the tank. So the more magnets you have, the more energy it puts back into your tank.
Hmm.
So more is better. There is no negative side effects. World Health Organization has said up to 80,000 Gauss. There are no negative side effects. And I don't know anything that has only positive things and not negative. It's an
Hmm.
amazing thing. So actually, we can talk. I have a back wrap that I just created for back pain, and I made it. Guess what? 80,000 Gauss, 20 of my magnets. There's nothing that exists even close to it because I know I can then reference the research that shows 80,000
Hmm.
Gauss no negative side effects. So we are not, I don't catch the name of the caller, but we are not repelling. We are adding energy back at the cellular level, and it is not the stone, although I love labradorites. But if I showed you earlier this little
Okay.
whatever this is, it's glass cabochon. There's nothing here. It's the magnet. It's that right there, that magnet that adds the energy back. So that's the answer. Then the first part of the question, I don't remember.
What is the name of the technology of
It,
using the magnets?
it is not a technology that we can patent.
Mm-hmm.
So there are machines that are pulsed electrical magnetic fields that have the exact same benefits as static magnets. These are called static magnets. But they exist in nature. They last 10,000 years. They are not charged. They exist as they are. And it's the magnet itself, because when you put that magnet in an energy field, it increases your cellular energy, counteracting that. And then there's so much research on the pain and inflammation, decreasing, it moves blood flow, it moves lymph, which naturally then decreases pain and inflammation, just like an NSAID aspirin does, or ice, same
Mm-hmm.
thing. So I reach for, and I'll actually show you, besides the jewelry, I have, this is an amazing thing too. This is actually called a Magna Wrap.
Mm-hmm.
And on the back side, here's 6 of my most powerful magnets. So
Mm-hmm.
this is 24,000 Gauss right here.
Mm-hmm.
Powerful. So I actually created this so that you can put it on wrist, elbows, knees for people that have osteoarthritis or rheumatoid arthritis or immune issues, autoimmune issues. It's increasing your body's ability to heal by adding energy at the cellular level so your body can do its job. So
Mm-hmm.
that's actually what all these magnets do.
So the Earth has a magnetic field.
They do a very weak one, which when the
Interesting.
astronauts actually get sick when they don't have it. So the astronauts, they send up with neodymium magnets because they push pull on the muscles to keep their muscles toned.
Wow. Okay. That's interesting. Wow. I never really actually thought about that. And I guess I thought that the Earth's magnetic field was a little bit stronger. So,
It's a very weak. I mean, we're used to it, but if you leave the planet and you don't have that magnetic pull, it kind of changes blood flow. It changes us because we're used to having that little bit of a magnetic pull to us.
right, right. So, okay, so we've got just a couple minutes here. So again, your website is Magnitude Jewelry, and it's magnet with an E, Magnitude Jewelry. And you are going to be again, the next Spirit Fest is in Virginia Beach, right?
Correct.
God willing. Okay, yes. And that is July 18th, 19th, I think.
Just was at dinner putting that in my calendar.
Thank you. And then the website, spiritfestusa.com, will have the dates and the information there. It's at the Convention Center in Virginia Beach. And we love there and being on the beach and that great energy of the sand and everything. It's really a great place to be. We do have another quick question, though. How would something like an insulin pump be affected? Because those are Bluetooth now, too.
Yeah, good question on 2 parts of that. And I did want to say the only contraindication for these magnets are someone with a pacemaker, because you can't wear our jewelry
Hmm.
with if you have a pacemaker inside your body, because they are controlled by magnets. And I've been told that that it'd probably be okay, but I err on the side of caution.
Sure.
So, but if you have a spouse who has a pacemaker and you wear jewelry, that is not an issue. It just has to be the pacemaker has to be in your own energy field. But that is the only contraindication. Diabetic pumps, not a problem. Shunts, not a problem. Artificial joints, not a problem. People with joint pain, hip pain, arthritis, those are the people that absolutely need our products.
I think,
Like,
yeah, because I think that that's what they were asking was since that's Bluetooth and it's right on your body, that's
It's
additional
it's
field.
creating electromagnetic fields, sure, just like iWatches are. I try to shame people off of an iWatch. I talk about wearing wearable wellness,
Hmm.
not wearable technology.
Hmm.
I love technology. I have my iWatch has been sitting collecting dust for 8 years,
Hmm.
because anytime you have technology on your body, it puts a little bit of electrical magnetic fields, which EMFs cause inflammation in our body. And you have so many people with autoimmune issues and and arthritis and rheumatoid arthritis that have inflammation in them. Now you have more inflammation because the EMFs surround you and you're putting it on your body, which you don't
Right.
need to. So
Right.
that is a no-brainer to take those. I try to shame them off of people. I've been able to do that a lot, but not on everybody. People go, well, how do I know how many steps I take? Well, just walk. How do I know how long I sleep? Well, I don't know, but you'll certainly sleep better if you take the darn thing off. So,
Hmm.
and then these magnets increase REM sleep, which is why I created an amazing sleep mask that
But
has
let's pause
yeah,
right there because
yeah.
I've been kind of looking at your website while you've been talking. So
Okay. I just
we're
thought
going
you
to
were
take
ignoring me.
let's just take a couple breaks, a few breaks, and then we're going to come back. So everybody stay with us, and we've got more really cool information to share in just a few minutes. So hang in there.
Hi, I'm Susan from My Enchanted Path, where I create divinely guided candles, intention oils, soaps, and more that make spiritual practice simple, no complicated rituals. The names may be playful, but every product is serious about helping you shift your energy. All fragrances are clean and safe, free from major toxins no one wants in their home or on their skin. With a 5-star rating and over 100,000 customers, MyEnchantedPath.com is a trusted source for charming items for an enchanted life.
Experience the healing magic of the Himalayas. Tibetan singing bowl classes and sessions are available at Gopali Inputs, which is located at downtown St. Petersburg, Florida.
Florida has a great new option for healthy living. Our Natural Health Expos were a hit last year, so 2026 brings more events around Florida. This special event offers health and wellness opportunities for people and pets. High-quality experts in well-being, healing, anti-aging, and natural living. Plus, you'll find speakers, demonstrations, and much more. All details, lists of locations, and discounted admission can be found at naturalwellnessexpo.com. Join us for Spirit Fest, coming soon to a city near you. Spirit Fest is a metaphysical, holistic, and crystal expo featuring an amazing array of vendors, speakers, authors, artists, crystals, healers, psychic readers, and more. Spirit Fest is your chance to explore and connect with others of like mind. Get all details, including our upcoming locations up and down the East Coast, also discounted admission, and more at spiritfestusa.com. Our next event is January 10th and 11th with special guests and special presentations, including psychic explorer, medium Mark Anthony, and also historical researcher, explorer, and author Jim Vieira. More details are coming to our website soon, and we look forward to seeing you at Spirit Fest in 2026. Welcome back to the Sanctuary for Mind, Body, and Spirit. I'm here having another great conversation about 5G, the good, the bad, and the ugly with Dr. Tracey Diner. And she has been a chiropractic and wellness doctor sorry, that's the corgi, for over 25 years. And it just has learned all of the cutting edge information, but she has studied 5G and the impact and the effects that it has on our body, just down to the every single little detail, and how that is literally draining our body, literally draining the fuel from our body through the mitochondria. So we were talking about, I had hurt my back before Spirit Fest Fort Myers, but we did not really get much of a chance to chat during the show because it was so busy, which was awesome because it was our first show in Fort Myers. Yes. and people really came out, and we were so grateful. It was a great show. But every time, I don't think I could even get a picture of your booth because every time I went by, there was so many people in it, I couldn't even see your stuff. But you have a new product called the Magna Back, which has a series of magnets that go all the way around the back, around your waistline there. But you were showing us the band that goes
Right.
around your wrist. That's a little
Right.
bit different than the actual bracelet that's got the single magnet
Right.
in it.
Well, how it started is because we've had such great effects with our jewelry on people with some serious conditions, Lyme's disease, osteoarthritis, rheumatoid arthritis. Now, I have to tell you, we do not cure any disease, but I can tell you that we have the research behind us that shows that these magnets decrease pain and inflammation. And at the cellular level, they're helping your own body fight. And so that's what we can say that these magnets do. And when you put them on your body, we don't always know what they're going to do, but they usually have a wonderful, better effect, and you're better wearing with them than not. And so
Hmm.
the jewelry, we've had people who had difficulty with heart conditions because the heart's electric. So now you're putting a little more energy at the heart level. People with osteoarthritis who couldn't close their hands with trigger thumb and fingers wearing our bracelets. So that was how we started, all sorts of things. And so then I went to, okay, well, then I'm going to do something even stronger for people that have major joint problems. So I created the Magna Wrap, which is 6 magnets, and I designed it so two can connect. So you can put them on a knee, you can put them on a hip, you can do one on your ankle, your wrist, anywhere on your body. And the closer the magnet is, the stronger it will be to do the effect. So if you have pain, you would keep it closer to that area. So then I've had this for about a year and had major testimonials of how this is helping people naturally. Literally, all you need to do is wear this. I personally have experience. I had shoulder surgery 8 months ago, and I fell down the flight of stairs right here and broke my arm. And I had to have my bicep reattached right here. I have a little scar right here now, 8 months ago, and they cleaned this out. Well, 2 months, I go to the orthopedist. You go 2, 4, and 6 months. At 2 months, I went to the orthopedist, and I did this.
Wow.
And he went, I told you not to do PT. I told you not, you got to let that bicep heal. I said, I haven't done anything. The only thing I did was wear this wrap 24/7 on my wrist other than to shower. And he's
Hmm.
like, I tried to explain to him that these magnets increase blood flow, they decrease inflammation, and they speed up healing at the cellular level. He didn't want to hear about it. So then at 4 months, I did the same thing. This moved it all around. And he's like, well, you don't need to come back and you don't need PT. I go, I know, but because of this. So this is this amazing thing. It's so inexpensive. It's like $33 on my website.
Uh-huh.
This. Our jewelry is also very affordable. Our necklaces run around $50 plus the toots. So then I proved my how this worked. I went to people who said, well, you're a chiropractor. Why haven't you done something for the back? So that's when I went to creating Magna Back. And that I said, I'm not pulling any punches. I am putting 20 magnets, 16 of them all around the quadratus lumborum, the lumbar area, and 2 on each side for the sacroiliac joints. Because a sacroiliac joint is a very missed diagnosis, and it is a missed area. People think it's lumbar, and it's usually not. It's the outside, and it becomes unstable. So now you have these 20 beautiful magnets comfortably in a wrap that you can move, you can play golf, and keep them on you to move blood flow, move lymph, and decrease pain and inflammation. All the
Hmm.
same magnets, just different ways to approach and use them. And then I'll show you the sleep mask, which I'm very proud of. I don't have one right in front of me, but it kind of looks like that. It has 3 magnets in them, one right over the pineal gland to upregulate melatonin production, and one on either side of the skull for people with migraines and headaches. There's research that shows when you wear magnets on either side of your brain for a minimum of 30 minutes a day, it decreases and the duration and the frequency of
Hmm.
migraine headaches. And that, remember, that's my specialty. So that was my little, and you can open your eyes, you're in 100% darkness. I do not sleep without this anymore. But I came home last night. It's upstairs in my suitcase. So,
Hmm.
but so that's another. So there's different products. They all have these beautiful, healthy magnets, just depending on how you want to use them.
Lymph, you mentioned, and that's another thing too that people are really starting to realize, especially once you get to a certain age, that lymph really does need to keep moving.
Keep moving.
Because, yes,
Yes.
because if it doesn't and it gets stagnant, it just the things
We
are
get
not
out, we
being
get,
flushed out.
right, exactly. And these magnets do the same thing. They're moving blood, they're moving lymph, which is
Hmm.
why there's so much decrease of inflammation and cellular energy going on at that level. So
You also mentioned golfers, and I think that that's the first time that I really heard about magnet therapy, or whatever you would call it, the technology. That they noticed that they were having improvements, because sometimes they would get sore wrists, or sore knees, or just depending on how they stood when they swung the club. That
going
was
to add
sort of.
energy. It's adding energy back at the cellular level.
Mhm,
So if you're healthy, you're just going to actually probably improve your game. If you're having pain, getting out of pain is going to improve your game, whatever
mhm,
that is,
mhm.
whatever sport you play in life.
And I also want to remind people too, this isn't just Dr. Diner with her partner who created beautiful jewelry who is doing this and getting some good reviews. You have an actual network of people that are selling this jewelry, that are marketing this for you with incredible feedback and testimonials too. So
Absolutely.
yeah, this
Tons
is
of
not.
testimonials on our website. Please go look at them. A lot of videos, a lot of, but yes, when you create a product like this, you have two ways. Like Nordstrom wanted to carry our product, and
Mhm,
we chose not to do it that way because if this beautiful necklace sat on a shelf somewhere in Nordstrom's, they're going to go, "Oh, that's really pretty," but nobody's going to explain the health benefits.
right,
Nobody's going to show, "Hey, that it does. It goes out. You can. I'll see all these hundreds and hundreds of tubes you can replace with." So we chose to do the route where it's multi-level marketing so we could put it in the hands of other people and they can tell the story and they can share with their family and friends and they can make money with us. So
right.
we have reps around the country now that join us. And I would love for any of you people listening, if you would like to join in my mission in helping people naturally, would love to have you join us. It's very inexpensive to be a rep. You make money. We have hostess rewards. It becomes fun. You can, do this with your friends and family and girlfriends. And so we have this network, yes, of people now sharing our beautiful jewelry, generally because they have some sort of results themselves, or they're wearing something that people remark. I've had more compliments on my jewelry than any other jewelry, any amount of diamonds I've ever had. I've had more people. I think it's an energetic thing where people are drawn to it. It's the magnets sucking them in. But I've had more people compliment me on my jewelry everywhere I go than anything else. And then, so that's what happens. Either people compliment. There's someone that joined us who was at Spirit Fest in Fort Myers. And because she had so many people compliment her overnight, she goes, "Well, I might as well sell it,
Mhm,
make money." I'm like,
mhm,
"Exactly, make money with us,"
mhm.
because then my mission gets out there more, so it's a win-win.
Right. Would that be on your website, the Join Our Team tab? Is that where
Yes.
people get
Yep.
info? Okay.
Yep.
There is so many things, and truly, that pendant that you're wearing is beautiful. And there's so many types of different designs. That's why it's fun to look on your website. But it's also fun, again, at Spirit Fest just to be there and to actually speak with you, and just to hear all of the different ways that people could use it. Back to that, I was just thinking, you said that the magnets are most helpful in your energy field at night, and that the wrap that goes around your arm. If people aren't comfortable with sleeping with the necklace on, that would be a really great way to keep
Yeah,
it in
they
your
can, you
energy
can
field.
certainly do this, you know.
Hmm. Hmm.
So as long as you're used to wearing magnets, that's six of them. This is pretty powerful. It
Hmm.
might be a little too much for someone to sleep with. I slept with it on
Mm.
my toe last night, this,
Okay.
because I hurt my toe somewhere along the way here, and
Uh-huh.
my toe was screaming. So I don't reach for a drug, I reach for this. And so I put this around my foot last night. My definitely foot is better today. So yes, you could certainly sleep in this. You can wear this. I have people that I tell them to wear it all the time. They have some sort of something going on in their body that their body's fighting.
Hmm.
And so I have them put one on each wrist.
Hmm.
I actually on the train ride on that auto train with on the way back from Florida, I had someone call me or call the company line, and I responded back to her that someone she had met at your event at Spirit Fest in Fort Myers, I had spoken to, I don't know who it was talking about the benefits of this, and she told her neighbor, and her neighbor has a husband who's severely debilitated because of Lyme's disease. He actually is at a point where he's ready to give up. And they've tried everything, and they wanted to know how the magnets work. Well, I personally have a personal experience. One of my probably best reps now had someone who was debilitated with Lyme's disease for almost 30 years. One of my reps told her about jewelry. She put the jewelry, not even these powerful things, put the jewelry on, it changed her life. And
Wow.
so I can never guarantee anything. I can't, but I can tell you what's the truth. And the truth is I have someone that was debilitated from Lyme's disease, and she's been wearing our jewelry, and she has a normal functioning life now. So you've got
Hmm.
nothing to lose and everything to gain by certainly trying. So she placed an order this morning for 4 reps, one for each wrist and one for each ankle for her husband.
Wow.
And that's powerful. So these
Uh-huh.
people are desperately wanting help, and
Hmm.
that's, it's $100 something. They'll spend that easily on any other treatment that they're doing. So I try to
Wow.
make it super affordable because I
Hmm.
want everybody to be able to have it, the benefits of it.
Well, everybody wants optimal health, and I do think that we need to be super cautious about 5G. I don't think that the majority of people realize how detrimental it is,
They do
or
not.
think it's a conspiracy. Um,
I am not a conspiracy theorist by any stretch. I'm all about science, and speaking about science, I have to.
mhm,
So this stuff is real. It's out there. It's not a conspiracy. This is just science, and it shows there's double-blind research that shows at the cellular level, EMFs are affecting the cells, and they're affecting the mitochondria.
mhm,
Now, am I being an alarmist? I'm trying to tell people you got to do what you can.
mhm,
We have to live with it. It is here to stay.
mhm.
But could we live with it in a better way? Yes. Can we decrease the effects of it? Yes.
A lot of times we don't think about things, what we're more that we could do for optimal health until maybe we have a health crisis or something.
That's true.
Um, some of us are, hit with autoimmune issues and that was why I asked about the calcium. My daughter's having a problem where her bones are breaking really easily. And, they're trying to figure out if it's a thyroid or exactly what it is, that's affecting her too. So,
Well,
so
here
that's
we're talking about, I'll talk about bone matrix.
okay.
The research on our website is these magnets lay down bone matrix faster. So if you have a fracture, your bones will heal faster when you put magnets on them. That's a done deal. That research is there.
Hmm.
So in that situation, about as far as laying down calcium into the bone marrow or the bone matrix, again, why not? You've got no negative side effects. There's so many positive effects.
Hmm.
Is it going to completely change it? Probably not. Is it going to help? Probably. So
Hmm.
it's a simple little thing to keep. I would do the major wraps with the six magnets in it, and have her wear, this is called Zen. It has a magnet and another magnet. I live in Zen. You can shower with a couple of these. Zen is one of them, but
Wow.
you do have to take the tube out. So I never take this off. It stays on me 24/7.
Oh, wow. What about neuropathy? Do the magnets do anything for that?
Yes, and there's research on my website about neuropathy, 1,000%.
Okay.
And actually, there's research that shows that it starts to actually the nerve fibers actually start to grow back, which I did not know was possible, to be honest with you. I thought it was once you like had say a severed nerve, that's it. Actually, it grows back. It also can start new blood vessels to infiltrate an area that may have lost blood supply. I
Hmm.
mean, it's an amazing thing. But the neurology, it can certainly decrease pain for sure.
Hmm.
And again, we talked about our brain communicates magnetically. So when you're putting these magnets in, your body's ability to communicate improves, which
Hmm.
would help with neuropathy.
Hmm.
Neuropathy has usually pain portion and an inflammation portion.
Hmm.
Also, there's research that shows with people with diabetes who
Hmm.
have wound healing issues. There's research on showing because it's creating more flow of blood, that's a problem for people with diabetics who have neuropathies from diabetes. They lose their ability for their blood flow. So
Hmm.
again, if you have a diabetic who's got pooling in their ankles, they should be wearing this on their ankles
Hmm.
because it's going to move blood flow and decrease the inflammation and create more of the neurology.
So there's a segue between what you just said and this question, but how do you feel about microwave ovens? I know you touched on it briefly, but is it
Well,
just being
they're
near
not
the
good for
microwave,
you.
or is it eating the food?
Oh, as far as cooking with
Hmm.
microwave,
Hmm.
I'm not an expert in that. I'll tell you what I know and I'll tell you what I don't know.
Okay.
But I try not to microwave my food because you are denaturing some of the protein, and I don't
Hmm.
think that's a good thing because our body may not be able to break it down. Is it
Hmm.
radioactive? I don't know. But I try not to. Do I use a microwave? I do. When it goes off, do I give it an extra little time before I open it? 1,000%. Um,
Hmm.
but do I put stuff? I try not to put meat and things in there that are going to denature from the microwave. But Again, that's something that we've been using forever, and I'm probably not going to not use it, but I keep away from it when when it's on.
Well, so and then where I was going with that is we do certain things that we believe or that make us feel comfortable to enhance our health. Some people don't like plastic bottles or even some of the stainless steel mugs, and that's debatable too. That they would prefer porcelain over the stainless steel or things like that. But, I was just thinking, you asked what was about our bedside table, and what's on mine is my phone and the remote. Oh, there. Do you have a cup too? Or is there a magnet in it?
No,
Oh,
it's
I love
no,
it.
it's just our cups.
Maybe that's another product, another product line.
I've heard
Um,
about people putting magnets on water, but you know what? It's going to lose its charge, and I don't. I'm not buying into that at this point.
Noted. Okay. Okay. But like you said, because it needs to stay in your energy field, the
Yeah.
magnet, in order for it to work. Yeah, that makes sense. But it just, being able to take that extra step to take the EMFs out of our living space as much as we can because we are bombarded with them.
It's a no-brainer. I mean, that's an easy thing. And the easiest thing is don't stick the phone by your bed, for goodness sakes.
Yeah.
I mean, you're never going to get away from it at this point. We'll walk into a mall, it's like we're being overwhelmed, bombarded. When I go out, I'm wearing earrings, necklace, bracelet,
Uh-huh.
always. I have a minimum of 24,000 Gauss on my body when I go out of my home,
Uh-huh.
always, always.
Uh-huh.
So if people ask me what I do, and you want to follow what I do, and you know what I know, you'd wear more.
Right. Right. And I just, so there, I do encourage people to go to your website and look at that wellness and research. Down at the bottom, there is so many articles,
Yep.
and so much information about how different things affect your body.
Yep. And the
Um,
testimonials from customers are there too.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
There's a lot there.
Because people have different issues for different reasons too. And so that's, I think, what holistic health really is. It's not just treating the symptom, it's actually figuring out what is creating the symptom. And it might be something just like we were talking about with chiropractic care, how your being out of alignment can affect your neck pain or vice versa. And that's really the key, is just treating the whole thing.
And
Um,
that's where, as a holistic doctor, that's why I call myself a wellness doctor, because you have to look at, and so I was looking at physical, chemical, and emotional, but now you have to look at electrical. Because 20 years ago, we were not living in a society where we are bombarded with electrical radiation, and we are now. And
mhm,
it's only going to continue to get stronger, not weaker. And
mhm.
that is going to affect us as a society, 1,000%, unfortunately.
We talked about routers. We talked about our cell phones. What are some of the other hidden ways that we're getting these frequencies that we may not be aware of?
Um, well, you have Bluetooth. Okay.
Right?
One of the things I haven't touched on either is, the iPods, not I what do
Uh-huh.
you call that? The ear pods, whatever they
Uh-huh.
call it.
Uh-huh.
The little white things you see hanging out of everybody's ear.
Yeah.
And you are sending nonstop electrical magnetic fields into the brain. Not a good idea.
Hmm.
Okay. And what it is doing is when you have that earbud, maybe I think it's earbud, when you have that earbud in your ear and you have a phone, it is constantly sending a signal to the phone. Are you here? I'm here. Are you here? Yes, I'm here. Are you here? Yeah. It's nonstop sending a signal.
Hmm.
So wireless, I don't use wireless anything.
Hmm.
I use earbuds that are actually have wired, and there is an
Uh-huh.
air tube, the
I do
first
too.
foot of it, and then it goes down into a wire because wire
Hmm.
conducts electricity, air not so much.
Hmm.
So I use when I'm on a plane, when I'm talking on the phone, if I can't use speaker and I'm too big a crowd, I'll put my earbuds on and I put them in there so that we don't have the conduction of electrical magnetic fields from the phone directly as an into our ears. That is
Hmm.
another big thing that people do that I think they shouldn't be doing.
Hmm.
I mean, again, you have everything has a little bit, the eye watches. That's a bit. I'm not I wear old school,
Yeah.
right? So that's another one that is a big problem. I have more than 75% of people that walk into my booth are wearing an iWatch or a Fitbit or something that's nonstop. And they go, yeah, I kind of feel that little electrical current. I'm like, yeah,
Hmm.
that's EMFs and that's causing inflammation in your body and stealing your energy. Why? Take it off. And some people will take it off right then. Some people are like, no,
Right.
so they're like, well, then at least counteract it. Put one of
Mhm.
my bracelets on near it, so
And
that's
most people have multiple devices in their homes too. They probably have an iPad or some type of tablet and a laptop. And all of those are going to be wireless or Wi-Fi.
right. So you can do wired. I don't talk about it, but you can wire your internet, wired internet, Cat
Hmm.
5. I don't even do that. I don't even know anybody that does do that. I think that's, there's you have to live, right? And I think there's
Hmm.
it's a level that where you can live comfortably and try and do what you can. But I don't have, or what an easy thing to do is you can shut off. This is even better. At night, you don't need your Wi-Fi on at night. You can put it on your router on a switch and shut it off and have it go off at 11 o'clock and have it turn back on at 7 or whatever time suits you. You can shut it off. So then you're having your home have less. That would be a good thing if you have teens. You got to get off this technology at night, which would be a
Right.
good thing so that they could sleep, so that you can all sleep better. Because if you don't sleep, you don't rest, you don't regenerate.
Right.
So those are some easy things too. So I'm glad you brought that up because I forgot to mention those.
What about airplane mode? Would airplane mode
Absolutely.
take your,
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Airplane mode. Yes, there's another option. So if you want your phone as you can't, like let it go and you got to have it next to you, you can put it in airplane mode. When it is in airplane mode, it does not have electrical magnetic fields. If it
Hmm.
does, I've been told slight, but it's, negligible. So
Hmm.
airplane mode would be another option for sure.
Hmm.
That's a
Okay.
very good point, Mariel. Yeah.
Okay. There's just so much information to look into there, and I'm really good. We're just about out of time, but I, again, really encourage people to go to your website, Magnitude Jewelry, that's magnet with an E. Um,
MagnitudeJewelry.com.
Not only check out all of the great products that we have talked about, but look at it's just so pretty, and just it is just so well done and so well thought, and it really just clever as well as just so useful.
There's a lot of
Um,
smart things about it. My partner that we created this together, she's an artist and a jewelry designer. So she's responsible for the creativity of the prettiness of it. But one
mhm.
of the things we're very proud of is when you look at it, you don't think, ooh, therapeutic jewelry. You go, ooh, that's really pretty. What is that?
Hmm.
And then, I'll
Yeah.
do, oh, it comes out and they're like, what? So
So look for Dr. Diner at Spirit Fest Virginia Beach, the weekend of July 19th, I think. And for the dates are on our website,
18th and
spiritfestusa.com.
19th. Yeah.
Okay. And then tickets for that event, by the way, are sold through the venue. But you can still get information. It'll be up soon about all is going to be there. It's going to be another really good show. And then, Spirit Fest USA, did I say that right? SpiritFestUSA.com to find out more about us, magnitudejewelry.com, magnet with an E. You're also on Facebook and Instagram, Magnitude Jewelry, to find out more there too. So, if people want to contact you, what is the best way to do that?
Support at magnitudejewelry.com.
Okay. All right. Easy enough.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for staying with us. And thank you so much, Tracey. I really,
My
really
pleasure.
appreciate
Thank you
you.
for inviting me. I love my role is to get this information out there. So thank you for allowing me that opportunity.
I just learned so much from tonight, and it's very inspiring. And again, thank you for your time, and hopefully we'll see you before too long.
Okay. Thank you. Take
All
care.
right. Good night, everybody. Thank you for spending this time with me here on the Sanctuary Network. Tune in every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern on the Transformation Network as we gather to share stories, wisdom, and practices that remind us of something essential. Sanctuary isn't just a place you go, it's a space you create in your heart, your home, and your daily life. I hope today's conversation sparks something in you, a sense of belonging, a new idea, or simply a reminder that you are not alone on this journey. If this touched you, please share it with someone who could use a little light. Together we can grow this circle of sanctuary and inspire a ripple of healing around the world. And don't forget, the journey continues at spiritfestusa.com, thesanctuarynetwork.com, and naturalwellnessexpo.com. And of course, every week right here on Transformation Network. Until next time, may you be well, may you be inspired, and may you live fully in sanctuary.